This is the March build of my Bujo planner. I did record something for February, but somehow I have lost that footage, so I apologize if anybody was looking forward to that. I have misplaced it somewhere on one of my hard drives. I will get it out as soon as I can. What you're going to see is different than my usual planner setups because I set up a ancillary planner to go with this. That's the second journal that you saw in my carry case. That carry case I got from Archer and Olive. As you probably know at this point, I am very much a fangirl of Archer and Olive's products. I love their monthly kit clubs. I love their quarterly subscriptions. I love their journals. They're still not my favorite because of some things that I think they should incorporate in their journals, but the fact that they don't have those kind of set things in these journals do allow these journals to be a little bit more malleable to what people need to use them for. So while I use their journals primarily for bullet journaling and planner builds, they are usable as other things. They do offer the dot grid, they have grid paper, they have blanks, and they have lines. I primarily go for the dots because I like the freedom that it allows me to use them however I want, which is the case with this ancillary pocket size that I have. I got the idea to start the ancillary journal because Ryder Carroll, the creator of the bullet journal system, did a short on how he uses his pockets, and I realized that although I am very meticulous on how I build my journal for planning's sake, I didn't actually give myself a whole lot of room to just have perpetual lists. So I used a pocket style to do that, which is something that he talks about in his short. If you're interested in that, I will definitely have a link to it in the description of this video. I think it is an amazing resource to go back to his videos and see some of the things that he does with the system. Since he created it, like it's a little bit more of a foundation of knowledge expansion. We're going to continue with the idea that I need to use the assets that I already have without purchasing more, because I do have the kit club and I do have the subscription box. I have a lot of things that I need to use before I purchase more. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going through my old sticker collections and finding things to incorporate the theme throughout the entire journal, which I've crossed my fingers stuck to more than I have veered from. So although it doesn't look like it, I am trying very hard to not divert myself from the perpetual theme that I had worked out when I started this over a year ago. I think it was over a year ago. It might actually, we might have just passed 6 months now that I think about it. I think I started this one in July. So this is March. We're just a couple months shy from a full year in this journal. And I've actually filled this journal almost to the halfway point. So I feel I'm pretty proud of myself. I am utilizing it a little bit more, although because of the way things have happened in the world and my current situation, I haven't used it that much this month, I'm sorry to say, but hopefully I can get back on track and get back into the habit. I will still be posting journal builds if that is something that you guys are interested in. I am always happy to show what I'm doing with my journal and, you know, the different techniques that I'm using to build it. I am using a lot of the assets that I've gotten from A&O to build these. I got these kind of scrapbook images from one of the subscriptions, the quarterly subscription, and I know I got this washi tape from them. If anybody from A&O is watching these videos, hi, thank you for giving us these products. I do love the subscriptions. I only have a couple of subscriptions at this point, and of the I think 3 that I am paying for, 2 of them are yours, and I want you guys to know that I really do appreciate the thought and care that goes into them. That being said, can I please draw attention to your guys' washi tape? I love your washi tape. It is it's really sturdy stuff. However, the diameter of the roll that the tape is put on is really large, probably the largest diameter of any of the washis that I have. And there's going to be a section where you see there's a really rough edit, and that's because I was taking about half an hour to go through my washi collection to find pieces for this build, and trying to put the washi tape in my organizer, it just wouldn't fit. So I don't know if that's something that has changed recently, because older washis that I've gotten from previous subscription boxes were the standard size roll, not like the how much washi tape was on it, but the size, the diameter of the roll, so they actually fit inside the organizer. These new ones don't. So I don't know if that's something that you guys are interested in hearing about, but it was an observation I made during this build. I love these stickers. I found these stickers on Amazon a couple of years ago. I want to say probably 4 years ago. And they really do need a little bit of love and care when you apply them to things that are not a permeable type surface. So for instance, you'll see when I flip pages, these stickers that I'm putting on right now are flecking off because that washi tape has a real waxy exterior. I think after I put some pressure and bound the book closed again, they actually stuck better. The adhesion took, but they just kind of peeled away from that washi tape, and it was something that I struggled with through this build, flipping pages. I'm going to do my same spreads. I do a monthly overview, and then I go to my budgeting page, and then I have my daily boxes. If you have watched these builds from the beginning, you'll know that these boxes were originally smaller, and I could fit more days of the week, basically a whole week on one page. And I decided that wasn't actually enough space for what I wanted to do, especially if I wanted to start adding visual elements to my pages. So I made them bigger. And while I don't always use all of the space that I have allotted myself, it does allow me to put in those visual elements a little bit more seamlessly. For those who have asked before, I have micros, minis, smalls, standard, medium size, large size, and then super large washis. I collect a whole bunch, and it's really funny because the bestie and I went to a Daiso recently, and all she wanted to look for were different washis that she couldn't live without, and I'm over here with big bins of it. So there's a call out to any other girlies, or any other people I should say, who do journaling, who also hoard materials like this, stationery, because I have a lot of it. I have bins of pins, and you can't kind of see them here because my desk is a mess, but there are pins everywhere, different sets. I do like these Inkjoys. They work really well, and I tend to kind of use the colors to delineate like pay periods and stuff like that. But because they have so many colors and they write so well without smearing, they are one of my favorite things to use setting up the planner. This is my collection of Kit Club kits. Each month from A&O, you'll get a curated set of stickers, paper, and just different assets to use in your journaling. Every month has a different theme. And with these kit clubs come some of my favorite stickers, and I haven't seen them since. I got 4 of them in the initial one, and I'm using the last one here. And this is a mood tracker. I love this mood tracker so much. So if you are from A&O and you are watching my builds or listening to me ramble about your guys' products, please give me more of these stickers. I'd love to buy just sheets of these stickers. I wish it had a printer so that I could just like ask you guys for a printable thing and then I could make them myself. But alas, I don't. So I'm begging you guys over at Archer and Olive, make some more of these mood trackers. I think I might actually send an email or tag their Instagram asking for more of these mood trackers because I absolutely adore them. I haven't found any other mood tracker that fits it, that's same size, same kind of setup. Like, I have lots of tracker stickers, but nothing like this mood tracker. I've even tried your guys's Everyday Celestial stamp set as a mood tracker, but no, this sticker is the best. So here I am. This is one of the washi tape organizers I have, and as you see, I'm just trying to fit them in, and they don't, they're just a little too wide. I do have some of the older A&O washies in here, and they fit, but the newer ones just don't. So here I have a whole bunch of micros and minis that I'm looking to match with this kind of overall theme. Not just with the stickers, but with the washi and the photo itself. I love the photo pack that got sent in I think it was the Dark Academia set. That's where this picture of a chair and a window, which I thought was perfect for March, because where I'm at, our spring is very peculiar. Like, it's still winter in our spring, and you get days where the summer kind of peaks in. We get some rain, yes, but it's like, it's not quite spring, it's not quite summer. It's just some kind of meld between the two, and some days you'll get, where it's like 70 or 80 degrees, and then some days you get it where it's just absolutely storming. And I feel like this photo of the chair by the window just kind of personifies that mood of what March is where I'm at. I do have a tip for anybody who decides to draw washi across like this. Make sure that when you get to that halfway point between the pages, you kind of tuck the washi into the seam of your journal so that it doesn't pull the pages. If there's too much tension, it will kind of pull the pages so that they stay open there, which, if that's what you're going for, great. But if you're looking for something that will stay closed when you turn the page, as you can see, there's kind of like this tension there, then you want to leave some space. And if you don't, I recommend just kind of slitting it so it lays flat and that tension is released between the two pages. I used to do it with my fingernail, and sometimes I still do, but I feel like this pen knife that I have really works well for that as well. What I like to do when I'm starting the build, specifically for my weekly spreads like this, I like to count how many full weeks I have so I can prep my pages before I move on to numbering them or naming the days of the week, so I don't go too far. Because I try to put as much in these journals so that I don't feel like I'm wasting it, which I mean is comical considering how many journals I have available to me. But I don't like wasting space. So if I absolutely celebrate when a month takes up a full set of spreads, not just leaving a page empty like that. However, because how I set up February and how many days in the month February was, that it kind of left me where instead of, I have the month kind of name page on one side and then my overview on the other, I now have it like a cover. So I have a month cover, and then you turn the page and then it gets into my planners and my trackers. I usually use my sticker tweezers for this, but somebody commented not too long ago on one of my other videos that my hand looks really weird when I'm trying to place the stickers. So now you guys are just dealing with my hand doing it, and it still looks weird. I apologize. I have very long nails, and I actually take a lot of pride in my nails. They're not natural, and they grow really thick and long, but it does make it difficult to like place things precisely without the tweezers. If you guys are looking for inspiration for spreads, I am a bare bones type. I'll add just visual elements for my sake, but most of my spreads are the same every single month. Every once in a while I'll change it up, but I haven't done that in a while because I've found that if I change it up too much, then I'm not going to use it because I won't know how to use it, even though I've made up the spread myself. But in this case, they're just basic. It's just an area for me to write my to-dos, my events that are coming up, any reminders that I need, like doctor's appointments, or say if my husband has like friends coming out of town. That's what I put in this. This is primarily a social journal for me and my husband. However, I'm probably going to start using it for work again, depending on, how things go at this point. I might start adding my work lists in here, which means that it might change again. Not quite sure how that will look, but just depending on what my needs are, that's how I determine what spreads I need. And thankfully with the bullet journal, because I'm making it myself, I can put exactly what I need and not put in extra fluff. So if you remember back in the December build, I had little tip-ins because there were other things that I wanted to keep track of in the month of December because of the holidays. So I had like a shopping list for groceries and a shopping list for gifts and, a guest list for dinner, what I was making for dinner, etc. All those were tip-ins because I realized that I had put in my basic spread, but nothing to add in those lists. And now that I have my ancillary journal, those will probably move over to that if it's something that I need to keep like a running up-to-date kind of deal with. I did like the tip-ins, and now I'm realizing I probably didn't even film the tip-ins. I think those were a last-minute addition once I realized that I hadn't left myself any space, and so you guys probably didn't get to see those. If that's something you want to know how that looked and how that turned out, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to film that for you guys. Just a quick run through of what my journal looks like up to date. I'm also trying to clear out some of these sticker pages, so if you notice, like, there's barely any stickers on that page that's facing us. I ran out of what I was looking for in continuing, say, like the theme, because it is March. There's a lot of purple in this. I wanted to add orange in because, it's March and purple is directly opposite of orange on the color wheel. I thought it would be a good contrast, but I ran out of orange days of the week, so I had to go back and use some of those ones that haven't been gobbled up in previous builds. Now I'm adding in some holidays and some things that are coming up. I always add the holiday on my monthly overview and at the other side, because what I like to do with my monthly overview is I like to mark in, okay, plans that are coming up, not necessarily just on the day, but say, like, because I'm building this in February, I know that St. Patrick's Day it's a static holiday, so I'm going to put that in. And then my husband might come along later and be like, oh, let's do such and such on St. Patrick's Day. Let's go out to dinner. Let's go out to the bar. Let's go see some friends or something like that. So I'll put that in my monthly overview. And then as I get close to the date, I'll make sure it's updated in my weekly spread, if not at the time of build. I like to consult the international holiday calendar online for any holidays that I may have missed, because there are some of the more obscure ones that, although we know about them, like, we never know about them until they've just surprised us. So, like, International Women's Day, that was on a weekend, and I didn't actually know which day it was or when it was going to be happening, so I had to look that up. But I also take a look for other things like, state holidays or anything that might affect my professional workday, because you never know when, the office might be closed because of some state holiday or a federal holiday that I didn't even realize was coming up. You have no idea how many times Memorial Day has snuck up on me, or Labor Day for that matter. And in my line of work, that actually matters, because I might not have to work that day. So this is just adding in those visual elements that I was talking about. I like to add these into the planner itself, not necessarily on the cover, because these are see-through. Like, they're not going to show up well on that photo background, if you know what I mean, because they're so translucent. They're not opaque enough to show up, whereas the other ones, they're on a paper background rather than a vinyl background, and so they'll stand out against that photo. I'm just trying to balance these visual stimuli across the pages, because I don't want anything to be too heavy or there not be enough room if I need to add things in. I just want to make sure that, one, I use up this sticker sheet. I don't want to leave anything behind, but I also don't want to block myself from anything. This last page that I have blank, that's where my budget will go. But I'm also looking to see if maybe I've missed any stickers that I could be using for this. I also am looking for my water tracker stickers. And I realize that I'm running out of the ones that I like to use. And therefore I need to like also use up the ones that I haven't been using, which is where these water bottles are coming in. These I used a lot of when I first started. And then I moved over to these little bars because they took up a lot less space. Again, not that I'm using all the space, but it was something that I realized that, if I'm putting them vertically, then I'm blocking off areas that I could write there, but I also need to like conserve my writing area in a little bit more of a manageable way. So I've run out of these tracker stickers that I absolutely adore, and so I'm going to start using these weekday trackers instead, because they're only a fillable entry short than the water trackers. And to be perfectly honest, I'm never actually filling up these water tracker stickers, so I think these little weekday ones are going to be a good substitute. I found these online on Amazon about 4 years ago. I haven't seen any comments requesting where I get some of these sticker assets. So if it is something that you're interested in, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to send you a link. They're non-affiliated links. They're just links to Amazon. We don't have any affiliate programs set up. Right now, your views are what are keeping us going. So if you like the content that we are producing, the builds, the unboxings, the discussions, and the podcast, please, your subscriptions, your likes, and your comments do wonders. It's the only thing that's keeping us going, our likes and our views. Right now, I'm just going to build my budget tracker. I'm not actually going to fill it in. I realize that you guys probably really don't want to see me do that every month. So I'm just going to build it and I'll fill it in later. As you know, I love setting these up because it does keep me on track of where I am with my finances. But if I don't actually build it when I'm building the rest of the journal, then it doesn't get built later. And that's what happened in February. If you saw that, it looked very plain. It was just lines. That's because I didn't finish building it at the time of recording. And then I just never got around to it. The month got too busy for me. These stickers here that I'm using for the budgeting, they're from the Clever Fox sticker sets. They have multiple sets. I have multiples of the multiple sets because I love them so much. They have saver stickers. They have bill stickers. I use them all the time, and I tried to coordinate them via color with my Inkjoy pens. Clever Fox does also offer different kinds of journals. I have a couple of them, actually. I got the life plan journal for me and my husband. We each have one. I also have one of their fitness journals, and I have one of their recipe keepers. I love their recipe keepers. It's a really cool journal. If you guys are looking for things that are not Bujo journals, but are actually set up for specific things, I highly recommend the Clever Fox series. Take a look at them. They are really, really good at what they do. They're fantastic. If you look at that journal, look, half of it is already full, and more than half of it now. And man, it is hard to close. This is the Insulary Journal, guys. I am so proud of this little thing. I built this in February, and I have been using it. It is fantastic. There are spaces to expand the list that I have, but this whole setup was because of writer Carol's short. I think if you are looking for something that's not just a bullet journal, but different, a way to keep trackers that are just perpetual, that like you have ongoing lists or whatever, take a look at that short. I am going to link it down in the description. It is fantastic. So what did I do? Okay, I grabbed one of my pockets after watching his video. I grabbed one of my pocket journals. This one really, really reminded me of my main journal. So that's why I got this one out of all of the ones that I have. And I turned it clockwise 90 degrees. So if you notice, I'm not opening it like a regular book. It's kind of like a field book open. I'm not describing that correctly. But basically, it gives me the length of a full-size page without the space of a full-size journal. And what I have in it is a couple of different things. I have a washi sticker saver, which basically is a full spread that's covered in heavy duty packing tape to give me kind of like a whiteboard surface. And any lengths of washi tape that I want to save and use for later, I can stick there and remove, and it doesn't damage the page it's on. It's not going to damage the washi. It is a perfect place to save it. And that is actually something that my co-worker, who I found out just recently is also a Bujo girl, she told me about that. She's like, oh, do you have a washi saver? And I was like, no, what's that? And she's like, it's a page that you just put remnants on. And I was like, oh, that's a fantastic idea. So I stole her idea and I improved upon it and added the packing sticker tape because of something that another creator talked about. She talked about having a whiteboard space in her journal and just being able to wipe off her marks with her whiteboard marker marks for like a persistent checklist. So I borrowed that idea, I combined it with the washi tape, and that's how I got my washi tape saver. And it's like the first page in this journal past the index. Also in this, if you can see what I'm writing there, this is a Disneyland checklist. My husband and I have decided that we're finally going to have our honeymoon. We've been married a couple of years now. We are finally in a place that we could possibly do it. And I've decided I'm going to start writing down things that I want to do. This is a chore checklist. These are things that I want to do every day to try and get a handle on my chores. And just like there's every day there's something, every week there's something, there's bi-weekly, there's monthly, there's bi-yearly, and then there's yearly. And they have the little stickers from the Kit Club as check boxes, and then there's packing tape over that so I can check them off and wipe them off at the end of every week or every month, etc. I'm really proud of that ancillary journal. It is one of my new favorite things, and I'm always looking at finding things to put into it. Thank you guys so much for hanging around with this journal build as I put everything back into my carry case. Please like, comment, and subscribe.